Hi everybody, Dan Illman here, taking a look at the Stronach 5 sequence for Friday, January the 10th. A $100,000 guaranteed gross pool in the Stronach 5, a low 12% takeout, $1 minimum wager, and we kick things off with race number 8 at Laurel. This will be leg A, and it will also be the final race at Laurel on Friday. It is an optional claimer, 6.5 furlongs, $35,000 the claiming price. Non-winners of 2 other than is the condition. As always in these Stronach 5 videos, I will give you some early opinions on horses that caught my eye and horses that I'm considering using on my Stronach 5 ticket. When it's time for you to make your final determinations, please consider using DRF Bets Ticket Maker, the most efficient way to play multiple race wagers. Use your A's, B's, and C's and play them accordingly based on Steve Christ's method. In the first leg of this week's Stronach 5, the horse that they're all going to have to beat's the number 8, Marco Island. This horse exceeded the Beyer par for this level last time out when taking down a very promising runner named Ben Intendi. Got a nice trip and ride under Trevor McCarthy, tracking 3 wide, attacking on the turn, and then winning basically in hand under the wire. It was a 93 Beyer speed figure, a career best, but a race that kind of came out of nowhere. I think this horse is going to get bet off of the 3-1 morning line, be bet shorter than that. So I also want to have a little bit of coverage. I'm not sure I completely trust Marco Island, although I will readily admit that he's the horse to beat. As a potential other A, I want to use the 5. Working on a Dream for Trez Zappit. This horse making his second start off of a very long layoff. His most recent race, his first start in 7.5 months. He showed good speed in that spot. He went a fast clip, and he understandably tired late. With that race under his girth and cutting slightly back in distance, I think the 5, Working on a Dream, 6-1 on the morning line, is pretty live in the opening leg of the Stronach 5. I'll consider using 2 backups. Not sure where I want to use them. I think the 3, Showalter, fits as a B, simply because he is double dropping in class and looms as the controlling speed. This is a horse the last time ran at this level earned an 88 Beyer speed figure, a career best effort. He's been in against tougher in his last 2. Last time out, prompting the pace over a sloppy track and facing a very sharp horse in a Vinu Malkanu. The 6.5 perhaps pushing it just a bit, but Showalter again has that back class and he figures to be on the lead. Charge and Storm, the 4, I'm not sure whether I'll make him a B or a C. He doesn't love to win races. He's got 10 thirds, 6 seconds from 38 lifetime starts. He hasn't won in over a year. If this pace gets hot, he will come running late. I think he's running into shape. This is his 4th race off of a layoff. Charge and Storm are perhaps a horse you might want to use in your deeper Stronach 5 plays. I'll probably use him as a backup. Not sure yet whether it's a B or a C, leaning towards a C. So in leg A, my A's right now are 5 and 8. My B is Showalter, the number 3. My C is the number 4. We'll move out to the great race play Santa Anita for leg B of this week's Stronach 5. It's a maiden special weight, going 5.5 on the turf. The number 4, Stopped Raining, is an early scratch. I'm comfortable leaning on the 7, Ranim, for Bob Baffert. Baffert's putting blinkers on, second off a short layoff and returning to turf. The last time this horse ran on the turf, he broke well, ended up 4 wide on the backstretch and into the turn, was floated wide while 1 paced, and then just didn't finish with much gusto down on the rail. I thought her last dirt race sets her up very well for this. She has enough speed to get up close to the pace in this short field. Malibu Cat, the 1, figures to break running. Ron Neem should be right on top of her. I like the rider switch from the 7-pound bug to Drayden Van Dyke. I'll lean on Ron Neem as my lone A in leg B. If you want to use a couple of backups, horses off layoffs might be the ones to consider. The 1, Malibu Cat, the 5, Lavender. Malibu Cat hasn't been seen since February. She has only raced once on the turf in her career. It was her debut going down the hill at 45-1. You can forgive her for that effort. The fact that Flavian Pratt takes the mount makes her a little bit interesting. And the 5, Lavender, hasn't raced in over a year, now in the Matt Chu barn, getting Lasix for the first time. This is a horse that's going to try to go 5.5 furlongs, racing 7 overseas. I wonder if this is just a means to an end to stretch out, but if she can run a little bit, she fits. This is not the strongest maiden special weight in the world. That being said, willing to lean on Ranim in here, the number 7, the 1 and the 5. Potential backups. We'll go to Gulfstream Park for leg C. 1-turn mile, optional claimer, non-winners of 1 other than, $35,000 is the tag. Nice spot for Blewett, the number 4, to make his comeback to the races. He's a 6-year-old. He's only started 7 times. He's obviously had his share of problems. But when he's on the track, he's pretty good. He was second in his most recent start way back in April. That was a race that produced 4 next out winners. He ended up 4 wide on the turn, 3 wide into the stretch, and finished second to a sharp horse Expert who came back to win his very next start. You just don't worry about Todd Pletcher layoff horses at Gulfstream. They just seem to run each and every time. This horse is very comfortable at a 1-turn mile, and if Blewett comes back firing with anything that we saw from his 5- and 4-year-old campaigns, he's probably going to be a handful in here. That being said, you do have to deal with a relatively short price off of a layoff in a big and bulky field. The 3 Kid Bourbon might be the alternative at 9-2. This is a horse that just has all the upside potential in the world, only starting 4 times, got the job done last time out at Aqueduct going a 1-turn mile. These Beyer speed figures are incrementally moving forward for trainer Mark Henning. The Lemon Drop Kid progeny usually get better as they age, and I think Kid Bourbon is just rounding into form and has found a nice spot for his first start against winners. So I'm kind of just leaning on the 4 Blewett, the 3 Kid Bourbon, probably will use them in equal weight in leg C of the Stronach 5. Out to Golden Gate Fields for leg D, 5.5 furlongs. This is a conditioned claiming race. The 7 Candy Crew is 0 for 11 on a synthetic surface, and that might be enough to scare a few folks off, but I think Candy Crew is a really nice fit in here, switching to Hernandez, the leading rider. Last time out at Golden Gate Fields, this horse brushed the gate coming out of the stalls. He's not a great gate horse. He ended up being steadied in between horses entering the turn, and then finished a solid 3rd behind a horse that came back to win the next start with a 69 Beyer speed figure for a $6,250 tag. I think Candy Crew has enough tactical speed to get into the thick of things in the early portion of this race. And he does have back races, not winning races on synthetic, but back races from a speed figure standpoint that put him squarely in the mix. I'm going to use him as an A along with a 6. Hot and Naughty, who is certainly a winner on a synthetic surface, had a mini 2-race win streak snapped last time out, went a good second. This horse has nice, sharp, tactical speed, and from a Beyer standpoint, seems to have found himself in his last 2 races. Hot and Naughty, Candy Crew, the 6 and 7 will be my A's. The 1 Roman Rocket will be a backup simply because this horse has speed down towards the inside, and the last time was able to get loose on the lead, was able to score. Last time out from an outside post was in chase mode, ended up running 3rd behind Hot and Naughty. Still a little bit of a question mark at this class level, but I do respect this horse's speed, and I just think he's going to be sent in here. I'd use him as a backup. I'm kind of against the 3. Our Tiger's Boy, 7-2 on the morning line. This is a horse that has not raced since February. Only 1 start in all of 2019. He's now dropping off the layoff. I respect Jeff Bondy a lot, but this is a horse that I have some concerns about. Haven't been seen since February the 10th. So in leg D, this one at Golden Gate Fields, my A's 6 and 7, my backup the 1, Roman Rocket. We conclude this week's Stronach 5. Again, $100,000 guaranteed gross pool back at Gulfstream Park. Turf Sprinters, optional claiming ones at that. Florida Breds going 5 furlongs on the turf. Richie's Sister, the 6, goes out for the very dangerous Jason Service Barn. This horse ran at the Meadowlands last time. It was a very fast race for the $8,000 level. She prompted the odds-on favorite on the outside and just couldn't get by. The race 2 starts back resulted in a gate-to-wire win. You got to be up close at Gulfstream Park on the turf to kick off this meet. And Richie's Sister has big speed. Yep, she's stepping up from the 8 to the 16, but she just seems like a very good fit in against Florida bred competition. And the second choice on the morning line, Sweet Yarandira, also seems like a nice strong fit. While a beaten odds-on favorite last time out, this mare did a lot of work. She hustled up in between horses to make the lead. She was pressured early by Valaro, who's also in this race. She shrugged off Valaro at the 8th pole, and she was just run down by a closer. She won the duel. She lost the war. She draws outside Richie's Sister and will be the one applying the pressure to Richie's Sister, turning into the stretch. She should be very prominent. Safi Joseph's barn has just been going great guns at this meet, winning 40% off the claim. First time for Safi Joseph here. I was thinking of using Miss Oramet, the 9 off the long layoff, as a backup. The source was listed as a vet scratch, though, at Gulfstream last month, so it was coming off a layoff, tough outside post. I'm going to keep a wait-and-see approach for Miss Oramed in here. 6-8 are the horses I'm going to key in on in the final leg of this week's Stronach 5. Again, $100,000 guaranteed gross pool, low 12% takeout. It's a $1 minimum wager, and the action starts with leg A, race 8 at Laurel Park, an approximate post time of 3:49 Eastern. Good luck.